One of the most popular theories surrounding Tears of the Kingdom at the moment is that these 7 tiers are directly connected to the return of traditional dungeons. It's long been a topic surrounding this game and a core Zelda feature many fans want to return. Given how the Zelda team takes fan feedback very seriously, there's a distinct possibility that we could see the return of traditional dungeons. But how would these dungeons work, and where would they be located? Believe it or not, I think we've already seen them. But before we begin, make sure you have a small key to unlock the door to more amazing content by subscribing to the channel and making sure those notifications are turned on. The Zelda formula has long rotated around the completion of 7 or more dungeons. Typically, the first 3 of those dungeons revolve around the acquisition of the Master Sword. Seeing as repairing the Master Sword is going to be an integral part of the game, I believe Tears of the Kingdom is going to be a return to form. The beginning portions of the game will revolve around restoring the Master Sword to a functioning weapon, while the later dungeons will be centered around freeing the regions of Hyrule from Ganondorf's grasp. Here's how it could work. It's my belief that we will be exploring the Sky Islands very early into the game. With so much revolving around them, I think we will see an island akin to the Great Plateau, where we will learn the new mechanics and gameplay for Tears of the Kingdom. The teasers have alluded that the key to restoring the Master Sword is connected to the sky. So much like in Twilight Princess or in Ocarina of Time, I believe that we will be tasked with completing 3 dungeons before we can use the Sacred Blade again. These giant pagoda-like structures have long been theorized to be dungeons, and if collecting at minimum 3 Tears of the Kingdom are required before the Master Sword can be used, this is the most likely structure to be a dungeon. We briefly see sections of larger islands that could be more dedicated areas to traditional dungeons in the sky. The scene of Link scaling a giant root on one of these islands could indicate the return of a forest temple, which are historically the first dungeons you would complete. There's 2 possible scenarios for a Sky Forest dungeon. The first is that we still have not seen the Great Deku Tree in this new iteration of Hyrule, suggesting that it has been lofted into the air as its own island. It could be that we are taking a nostalgic turn back to Ocarina of Time, and our first dungeon could revolve around the Great Deku Tree. Admittedly, there's far less evidence to support this specific theory, but there is stronger evidence in the second possible location. The scene showing the time reversal ability is taking place in the Faron region, an area most commonly associated with sprawling forests. In this scene, we also see a notable section of islands shrouded by a thunderstorm. Perhaps the first dungeon in Tears of the Kingdom will have us travel to the Faron region to quell whatever evil is causing the storm in these islands. Notably, the Faron region also has strong ties to the Zonai tribe and is where the dragon Farosh calls home. With all signs telling us the dragons will have importance in this game, it could be that the first 3 dungeons in this game are connected to the dragons. In fact, there's areas shown in the trailer that are directly or at bare minimum nearby where the dragons call home. We have this set of islands in the Faron region for Farosh, and we know there are islands near Dinral's home thanks to the last scene in the newest trailer. So that leaves Naydra. If you look off in the distance, you can see a significant chunk of islands in the direction of Mount Lanayru, which happens to be where Naydra calls home. We know the dragons are going to have a vital role in Tears of the Kingdom, we just didn't know what it was, until now. The beginning of the game is going to require us to save the dragons in the sky so that we can repair the Master Sword. We saw a similar situation in Skyward Sword, where in order to turn the Goddess Sword into the Master Sword, the blade needed to be forged by the flames of the goddesses. These flames are in dungeons or locations guarded or protected by the 3 dragons of Skyward Sword. So our first 3 dungeons will take place in the sky over the regions the 3 dragons call home, and once completed, will restore the Master Sword to working condition. But where does that leave the other 4 so-called Tears of the Kingdom? If we take a look at this official artwork, you'll notice 3 obvious landmarks: Hyrule Castle, Death Mountain, and a storm or tornado over Rito Village. Hyrule Castle will most likely keep with tradition and be the set piece for the final battle against Ganondorf, which leaves us with the other 2 locations as possible dungeons. Both of these areas are of significance because they are both locations that had an integral role or part in Breath of the Wild. So by loosely connecting those dots, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that the 4 other dungeons are going to be connected to the 4 main areas from Breath of the Wild: Goron City, Rito Village, Gerudo Town, and Zora's Domain. In some way, each major area from Breath of the Wild is being affected by Ganondorf's evil. The eruption of malice spewing out of Death Mountain is the strongest connection to point to this. but we can also see the storm over Rito Village. The themes connected to these areas suggest that we will have a dungeon tied to each of the respective elements from that location. Fire for Death Mountain, wind for Rito Village, and presumably water for Zora's Domain or maybe even Lake Hylia. Leaving Gerudo Desert more than likely tied to a desert-themed dungeon or perhaps something tied to lightning, giving Urbosa's connection to that power. But we've already explored those areas extensively in Breath of the Wild. There weren't any dungeons visibly on the surface. This is where the underground connection comes in. From the first time we saw Tears of the Kingdom, it was apparent that in some form underground exploration was going to be involved. We got further confirmation in the latest trailer when this cave entrance was shown. This leads me to believe that we will be tasked with going underground to reach the dungeons for these 4 areas, defeating whatever evil lies in wait underneath the ground, perhaps rescuing the new champions in the process, and gaining the 4 remaining Tears of the Kingdom, leaving nothing else left to do than to take on the Gerudo King of Evil himself, Ganondorf. But you tell me, do you think these areas being affected are hints at dungeons returning? Are these swirly boys even the Tears of the Kingdom? Let me know in the comments down below. But before we go, I have a quick message. Hey guys, thank you so much. I just wanted to give a real quick heartfelt thank you for getting us past 2,000 subscribers. I've been trying to hit 2,000 for the last couple years, and it just it means the world to me to finally be at this milestone. So thank you guys so much for the continued support and for checking out my content. I really, really appreciate it. The last couple weeks since the official title reveal for Tears of the Kingdom have just been absolutely incredible. There's been so much hype and buzz around the game, and for me specifically, just having people tune in continually to watch my coverage of the game and just supporting me for this is just been the best feeling. I got featured in a Zelda Universe article alongside a ton of other Zelda creators that you guys all know and love, I'm sure. But that is just so humbling to me, because Zelda Universe has long been a website that I've visited and that I've been a fan of, just their coverage. And they're huge. They are the site for Zelda news. And to be featured, just in, whatever capacity, just the fact that I am a part of an article on Zelda Universe is just such a humbling experience. And I can't thank you guys enough. Really, I truly appreciate it. This has just been an incredible period of time for me. I'm getting married in a week, and all of this happening in conjunction with that has just made me so elated and filled with so much love. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And I appreciate your viewership, and let's go, man. 2K subs. What's next? 3K? Maybe more? I hope so. Thank you guys so much as always. I super appreciate you. And I hope you look forward to more content on Tears of the Kingdom. But until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.